Uz, have you been watching Traitors?
Yes.
Do you watch the final?
Yeah, I was behind because I just started watching it for the first time.
Same. Yeah. This season.
Yeah, I watched this season. I started last Sunday, was it, Steve?
Yeah, you done it in like a week, Ash, and caught up for the final.
Wow. Okay. I was really disappointed. I was so disappointed.
What did you want to happen?
Faraz
had it. He had it nailed.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh,
and that other
everyone
idiot was
Faraz.
it was just like,
Yeah.
what's wrong with you? He's worked it out. You're mates with him. He's told you that you want to end with you two, and then what are you doing?
Yeah. He
flopped
What's
it.
the word? He melted. Yeah, he melted like Arsenal.
So poor.
Yeah. I was team for us, especially after hearing what he wanted to do with the money.
Yeah, would have been cool.
Yeah, really good.
Yeah, and Stephen could have stitched up Rachel, but he bottled it, didn't he? I think he was scared of her.
He would be scared of her, but also I think the way he would have felt is he couldn't have lived with himself. That's all it was versus the money. So
he was so nervous. Like every episode, it's like, I think I've made a mistake.
Yeah,
that's what I mean. Like he came across as a traitor, and I don't know why he never got voted out.
Yeah. So many of them were like, yeah, Stephen's a traitor, but he never got enough votes.
Yeah, really disappointed with the people on that show that they let the two traitors win it, go all the way. Yeah, but like it was disappointing because there were enough people who called them out, yet everyone else was like ignoring it. It was ridiculous. Even that barrister was just directly, well, I know it's you, Rachel.
Yeah, that was funny when she was talking to them in the confession, and
the
she's
confession
like,
thing was hilarious.
I know you're there, Rachel. That was quite funny.
And her face.
Yeah. Tell you what, I might have just solved something. Ruben Amorim was a traitor.
Well, I told you this already. That was my. I think I've had this theory.
Oh yeah, undercover. That was it for Sheikh Jassim.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the mole.
Let's kick it off. I'm Steve, and I'm joined by Ash and Uz. It's been a couple of weeks since we caught up. Uz, you've not been on since the Michael Carrick resurgence started. This weekend, Manchester United won 3-2 at the Emirates against Arsenal.
Did they?
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Oh yes.
We do love a win at the Emirates in the black kit. We warned them Gooners pre-match, didn't we, that we're turning up in the black kit like you today, Ash. But yeah, Uz. Michael Carrick, what has he done to this team?
It's great, isn't it? Like we talked about, we need some vibes, right? We need some better vibes. Nothing like an old, is legend's probably too strong a word for Carrick.
Is it?
Isn't it? Legend.
He's
not that great.
Yeah.
He's a legend.
What is
he's a legend.
Yeah, we need a tiering system.
Yeah,
Darren Fletcher was called a legend. So
no, Darren Fletcher.
That's what I mean. He's not a legend.
Fletcher.
Oh no,
he's not even a great. He's a great servant.
Yeah. Just, I think Rooney mentioned this recently. So there's only 2 players that have ever won the Premier League, the FA Cup, the League Cup, the Champions League, the Europa League, and the Club World Cup, if you want to count that. One of them is Wayne Rooney. The other one is Michael Carrick. Carrick was a key cog in one of United's best teams ever. The top you're wearing there, Ash, like Carrick was key in that team.
Yeah,
Surely.
This is in homage to him and the death of Arsenal's title challenge. So AJ, I hope you're listening.
Carry on, us, but he's definitely legend.
Yeah, I think at the time, though, do you remember when I was discussing this, like, oh, Carrick's underappreciated by our fan base. I even wrote a piece on it. As a player, yeah. I think people look back and because of we haven't solved that midfield problem. Like, oh yeah, that's a player. We had like 6 months of Matic doing it. Apart from that, no one really having that sort of holding and controlling role. But yeah, he's brought the feel good factor back. I think he's simplified the tactics, and he's also, we talked about Ruben being unlucky. He's also got a bit lucky as well, which is good because he's come in just as all the key players have come back from AFCON. Martinez and Maguire back in the centre-back positions, not, the likes of Heaven and Yoro, for example. But and also, we generally, historically have been up for a big game anyway, but you're going to be up for a big game with the new manager. That also somewhat suits our players, right, to have that sort of more mid-block style and be aggressive. So he's done everything right. They came up with a good plan that works against his opposition. Big test to come, right, where we're going to now face Ash's mate Marco Silva is going to put more a block on. Can they break the block down?
Portuguese wall.
Yeah. But for these two games, everyone was up for it. I thought Old Trafford rocking against City, and the Emirates is, a place that we've had good memories, right? So
there's a lot of nervous energy in the Emirates, Ash, right? You could feel that from during the game. I think Gary Neville picked up on it. You could just feel it, like it was slightly nervous from quite early in the game.
Do you know what? I obviously don't watch Arsenal week in, week out, especially at the Emirates, but when I was watching the first half, it sounded like a morgue. To be honest, that's normal, especially when I go there. But the cheers when they get a corner, oh my God. Like, I was like, have they scored a goal already? I mean, they got songs apparently about the set pieces. So we might as well just call them Set Piece FC.
I saw a stat. I don't know if it's true. I mean, I think it's true that they're 17th in the league for open play goals. That is mental.
There's also a stat along the lines of when they score with a set piece, they win like most of the time. Like I think it's as high as like 90% for this season. But
I really don't like it. I don't understand why refs allow it, because it's one thing being good at set pieces, but it just seems like a rugby scrum in there.
Yeah.
Everyone's grabbing everyone. It's ridiculous. It's not football. And
it was like 7 players like on the goal line in the second half.
For me, the ball comes in. If I was a ref, I'd just blow up and be like, well, there was definitely a foul in there somewhere, because this is not, when we play football, is that everyone rugby tackle everyone? Don't you just try and win a header? Like you get touch tight, but you don't, the amount of like grabbing and holding and shoving, it's just a bit silly.
The thing is, it's not Bolton Wanderers, is it? Like, you look at Arsenal's squad, it's not like they have to do that. So
no, but just quickly on set pieces, like this is a trend that actually started last season with especially with in-swinging corners. So it's obviously a technique that players with techers like Cunha, like Wolves against Onana, or Declan Rice has perfected over the last couple of years. So it's definitely a ball hitting skill. It kind of was actually reminiscent of this shirt. You remember when Ronaldo put the valve at the top when he done a free kick, and then Drogba started doing it, and this feels like the new trend over the last year, because other teams, I've seen them take corners and I'm like, wow, the in swing that they can get on these balls. So it's obviously something that they've been working on.
I don't mind that. I think that's good skill, right?
No, but
the actual delivery I really appreciate, but it's the crowding the goalkeeper.
Yeah, but it's a set play that everyone's clearly doing, right?
I just think it should be blown up as fouls.
Yeah. I mean, in terms of these types of goals, it's not what you want to see.
Is it a foul though? Like, it's like, let's just take Pete Jose, because he's a dark arts manager that will do anything to win. And if you can crowd the goalkeeper,
if you stand around the goalkeeper and do nothing, I have no issue with it.
Fine, okay, you're saying
I have no issue with standing your ground, but there's a lot of using your body weight and pushing people.
Right. Yeah, okay.
Bolton Wanderers, Stoke City,
and so they're all shoving each other, and it's just come on, this is a bit silly. I don't watch Arsenal in the Champions League. It'd be interesting to know, do they do the same thing and they get away with it? Because I don't like it. I think I would rather watch a proper game of football. And if their whole thing is just, let's get a corner, let's cheer that, and then let's try and rugby tackle the ball over the net, into the net, then, that shouldn't be awarded with. It's not that, we don't want the Premier League champions being 17th in open play goals.
I've got to say, though, I want to talk way more about Michael Carrick than Arsenal, but I did see Arsenal, and I was just looking at them thinking they're like a very efficient David Moyes better version team. Like, and to Steve's point, like the players that they've actually got, they should be doing way more. There was a lot of square passes, no line breaking passes, even like body movement. They weren't going into the spaces in the pockets. Like Saka, I know he had a major injury with a hamstring. Even he looks like his body movement is more efficient because of the hamstring problem that he had, or major injury that he had. Like, he doesn't look like he's really getting into his stride, and like that extra degree that you need, like in your running. It feels like he's just too efficient, and therefore he's just like circulating the ball. Compared to, say, 2 years ago, you remember that cracking game that they won against us, where Rashford scored and like Saka scored an absolute belter in the second half. That's not the Saka of today.
Yeah, I mean, if you see the stats for their attackers as well, like Saka's not scored in 13 appearances in all comps. My mate Victor Gyökeres, 0 non-penalty goals and 11 appearances.
Martinelli still pay 100 million for him, Steve.
Probably, because he might have delivered for us,
especially under Michael Carrick.
Yeah. Oh God. Martinelli 0 in 13. Yeah, it's just like,
I think 5 goals is their top goal scorer, right? And I think own goals is it second or third?
Yeah, and obviously, speaking of own goals, that's where the game started with Martinez, right? I'm sure somewhere Nicky Butt and Paul Scholes were ready to pile in on their next podcast. But yeah, just a crap goal to concede. Like, it felt like Martinez was too busy, like hustling and bustling.
Again, there was
I think Gary was a bit harsh on him, to be honest.
Yeah.
The biggest mistake he made was missing the ball. Apart from that, like being touch tight with Timber, given his size as well, I don't think it's like the biggest defensive error I've seen ever, kind of thing.
And he had a great game.
You guys think?
It was brilliant.
Yeah, no, he played
absolutely brilliant.
Harry Maguire, unbelievable. That is by far one of the best games I've ever seen Harry Maguire have. Like, because not only did he do backs to the wall defending great in the air, he actually stepped out and like was marking and intercepting brilliantly. He even created a chance when we were 1-0 down because he pushed up. So he was excellent.
They were both good. I think Martinez with the distribution, like the line breaking balls, was really good. But obviously when you go 1-0 down early at the Emirates, you're starting to think, could be in trouble here. But then to get the equaliser pretty quickly, like Mbeumo, obviously a mistake from Arsenal trying to play it out from the back, but he took it well and got us back in the game.
The key to the goal, let's compare these two teams. Which team was more on the front foot with the press? That came from pressure.
Yeah.
Right. If you watch Arsenal against us, we were calm playing it out. Martinez and Maguire weren't under pressure. We put them under pressure. Zubimendi, if he has all the time in the world, he never makes that mistake. And Mbeumo's there to get on that ball, and then class finish, class finish.
So calm.
Took it well.
And if you look at the 3 goal scorers, right, Mbeumo, Cunha, Dorgu, all in your signings, aren't they, Steve?
I knew that was coming.
I was preparing for this all day.
Yeah,
Jim's done a good job, hasn't he? There with
but this is what you get, though, isn't it? With like Premier League proven, and
we talked. I said, look, we have paid too much for him, yes, but he's a quality player, and this is why I'm like, having him back from AFCON makes a big difference, because he's, in my opinion, the second best player in the team, and you get him back in the team, then you're going to get goals.
Yeah, just wanted to touch on the press because Az makes a good point. The goal speaks for itself, but we had 2 chances even before that, and that's all because of pressing. And it's not like Jurgen Klopp style, metal, heavy metal pressing, right? It's smart Michael Carrick style pressing, like cutting, passing angles and passing lanes, right? All the boring technical stuff, but like these intricate details is what's so important, and we'll talk about it later when we're talking about Carrick's staff, because I feel like I've seen an impact with the staff that he's got in place there as well. But obviously, Steve, once we get it back to 1-1, what are you thinking then?
Well, I was just going to give Carrick credit as well for actually playing Mbeumo up top, which he did obviously in the derby and at the Emirates, and obviously paid off. So credit to Carrick for that. But yeah, at 1-1, I just because we got the equaliser pretty quickly. You're buzzing off that and starting to dream about getting the lead off Arsenal. So it was just after the second half, wasn't it? So I actually had Rafi to myself, so I was rushing his bath, and I had the game on my phone, and so I was doing Rafi's bath as Dorgu scored. I mean, what a strike! Like, have you heard the new nicknames? Ballon Dorgu. They're saying he's the next Gareth Bale.
Who first said he was the next Gareth Bale?
I think you
love your WhatsApp history, don't you, Steve?
Yeah.
You should search for Bale in our WhatsApp group.
Can you get a GIF and put like a crown
I think
on his head?
Say it. I think you did say it.
I said it quite jokingly, but I did say if we sign this guy, he's the next Gareth. Because obviously, what happens is you get linked to someone, you start watching YouTube.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, he plays a bit on the right wing sometimes for Lecce, but he's got this sort of kick and rush game where he just knocks the ball and just runs really fast. And it's like, reminds me of Gareth Bale a little bit.
Right.
He's not shown it for most of his time.
That's because Ruben stuck him at wing back.
No, but Bale started, remember, as a left back or a left. That he's been able to do the up and down, but his final ball hasn't really been good. He hasn't been able to make the right decision and make the final pass. But the athleticism was always there.
Credit to Darren Fletcher to put him on the left against Burnley, because I think that's helped him realise the potential and give him confidence, right? Because he can gallop, and I think you're right in terms of the way he actually runs. It is like Bale-esque. He's got long legs, and it's strides rather than like a Ian Robin type runner or Mark Overmars back in the day type of runner.
Yeah, but it's interesting because everyone's like, oh, I don't like the back three, it's too defensive, it becomes a back five. But you kind of had a back six because there's Dorgu and Ahmad, who are the traditional wing backs, right, in Amram's system. And you had four defenders behind them.
The shape's better, way better though. Well, you can see it's being coached, right? Like that's what I mean. Like going back to City very quickly, they had 3 days. That performance was outstanding. It's like one of the best performances in years, especially given the time period. I'd actually say yesterday was a little bit more scrappy, but Arsenal made it like that. But credit to both performances. It wasn't a fluke. Normally we've had wins especially over the last 2-3 years. You could say more backs to the wall, but I think Carrick and the team masterclass in both games.
But also that period, before Dorgu's goal, before half time, I think Neville said it going into half time, we started to get comfortable, I think 10 minutes before half time. And then even coming out in the second half, we were knocking it around for 10, 15 minutes. I think before Dorgu's goal, there was a little move where we had the ball for a bit. So I've not seen us play that confidently, away at a big team in a long time. So yeah.
Steve Holland training drills, eh?
Yeah, I mean, who knows?
The thing, it's not that. It's look.
Only because you don't like him.
No, not that. No, Steve Holland's actually a really good coach. My issue with Steve Holland, and I'm a very big fan of England, right? So England, Southgate, Holland. I've never had an issue. My issue with Holland was always would he be too defensive, right? As a manager, but when if you've got someone offensive, I think Carrick's got a more offensive-minded approach, but also the defensive scheme worked for these two opponents, right? Let's see if we can break down. But setting up a kind of 4-4-2 block, it's not rocket science tactics, but what you need is to give the players the confidence to be able to execute. Because these are good players. I've always said these technically good players. If you sort of let them play, they can play, and that's what we saw. So it's not like there's some kind of coaching thing. These are.
No, I totally disagree because even with the first game against City, Carrick afterwards he talked about how they worked on the shape in terms of compressing space.
No, the defensive side is basic, right? No, but we're talking about the attacking game. So, for example...
No, but the compression helps with the attacking game, though, right? Because, like, you're essentially inviting the opposition, because you're right, these are two technically, gifted passing teams in City and Arsenal. So you're inviting it to spring on the counter-attack, right? So that's why I do think it's more than just vibes, or just say like 4-4-2, go out there, boys, and do it. Like, there's got to be a lot of credit for the coaching.
What I'm saying is this is sort of kind of football fundamentals. It's not rocket science.
It is, but what I would say is, like, for modern day players, and we've spoken about this in previous pods, like, that's not easy, because in our day, play 4-4-2, like, I could get you boys and a bunch of other guys from our age group play 4-4-2, and actually, yeah, you're right, you probably don't need to do too much. It's a bit like Ancelotti style. But modern day players, they need information all the time.
Well, did Ruben make it rocket science then? If it's not rocket science,
no, the 4-4-2.
No, he just
the 4-4-2 is a really easy system. Like, to play, it's a very, very easy system. It's the easiest system. We've all played it. Very simple, because you have two blocks, basically, right?
Two banks.
There's two banks. There's someone, and you work in pairs. That's all it is, right? So and all you need to do to make sure it works defensively is your two wingers have to be defensively minded. That's why Dorgu and Ahmad, having played wing back, can already do this. So in both games they doubled up on the winger, and what happens, the ball gets funneled wide, and there's nowhere to go, and then it has to go wide again. So
another important point, Steve.
Good team
the
selection.
Wingers.
Yeah, good team selection. But he's basically, set up in a. But what the point we're talking about is that attacking game, the flair. What it comes down that these are just, so when he hasn't coached Bruno to do that sort of that disguised pass, the goal in the City game. That's just genius. Right, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's freedom.
It's and the Dorgu the goal. It's just you go right. You go and when we get the ball, go and attack, go hard at them, and that's that positive mentality and a bit of luck, because that hits the bar and goes in, and it's one of the greatest goals. And
at the Emirates.
It was
in open play.
It was Tony Yeboah style for me. It was like
the way it hits the bar. Yeah,
but the way do you remember that Yeboah goal where it kind of like it's sort of flicking around, hits his hit? Which goal was that again? Was it Wimbledon?
I've seen that one.
The Wimbledon one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's bouncing around and it's just this whack.
It just sits up.
Absolutely
bang,
brilliant, like brilliant, and it's not like somehow Carrick's set up 50 of those guns and he's told Dorgu to do this. It's just a moment of brilliance.
But to give Carrick credit, he's clearly given Dorgu confidence.
Yeah.
Won by
the whole team, Steve.
But just in contrast to Ruben, Ruben was in press conferences talking about Dorgu's anxiety out in the open. So just to contrast, like, the simple things Carrick's done, he's not done questionable things like that, and clearly all these little 1%, 2% feed into the ultimate outcome, right? So it's just, there's a lot of things.
It's actually something that Az loves talking about, especially before we started the pod in the Jose days, about like what you say as a manager. Like, it's almost like the energy that you project and what it brings to the table. Michael Carrick from day one has just been on it. I know he's ex-United, but like even his personality, like he's got criticism in our community for being boring, but like he's cool boring. Like the way he plays his football is the way he talks. Like he's understated, but a brilliant football brain, right? And that's what's coming across in terms of the way he speaks. He's a statesman. He's talked about how he's looking forward to the challenge. He's up for it. He's not moaning about all the interviews that he's done. It's the complete opposite of Ruben. And like, this is nothing against Ruben the person, but it just shows that the job was too big for Ruben. And I do think, Steve, to your point, Carrick deserves a lot of credit for it's almost like the freedom that he's given the players to not just express themselves, which is massively important, right? Because that's why we saw the goals that we've seen in the last two games, but even concentration levels when defending. Like, we got a clean sheet against City. Like, we can get a clean sheet for Toffee. And do you remember I was saying a few weeks ago, like, if you want to see improvements and if you want to see us be able to get Champions League football, you need like that step up. And Carrick, thank God, has been able to do that.
You give him a contract then? Write the number down.
We're going to talk about that.
We'll come on to that. But just again, the little things. So like, I believe we were 2-1 up when Dorgu got like, cramp or whatever it was. And he brings on Šeško for Dorgu. So he brings on an attacker for Dorgu. I'm pretty sure, Ruben wouldn't have done that. So again, that's more in the Fergie mold of like substitutions.
I interpreted that as Arteta has got a massive team on the pitch, and he needs Šeško to defend corners.
Yeah,
that's how I
probably,
saw it.
That's probably a factor. But also Šeško on the counter attack. Carrick's probably thinking, I reckon.
Yeah, no, but it was a good decision.
Striker. Yeah,
it was a good decision, and actually the Cunha goal, Šeško's movement was really good. It dragged the Arsenal backline back and created the space for Cunha. And where was David Raya? I mean, it was like in the middle of the goal.
I was thinking that.
I know the guy's about 5'2", but I expected him to get a bit closer.
I know, I did think that. But just going back to the equaliser again, Ash, like another shit goal to concede, wasn't it? Just scrappy as hell.
Oh, do you know what was annoying about that goal? I think Saka had a pot shot. And what I loved about Le Mans, right? The best thing about Le Mans most of the season is that we don't talk about him, which means he's doing his job. He's like Edwin van der Sar. He's very close to that. The way he made that save as well with the pot shot, I was like, that's so Edwin. Like, just get your two hands, real strong hands, push it away, just get out of the danger zone, right? It's total opposite of Onana. Then with the corner, I was like, oh, these jammy bastards. They just keep swinging it in. And like, look, he got caught under the ball. We've spoken about it already. It's like a rugby scrum. What was annoying about the goal, again, in reference to the shirt I'm wearing, do you remember? I think it was 2007 or 8.
Gallas.
It's Patrice Evra squares it to Ronaldo, 2-1 up with a few minutes to go. And then they go up the other end. Gallas scores. And it was very similar in that.
Yeah. Cleared off
it's
the line.
Off the line, and that was the annoying part of this goal yesterday, was that as soon as the second chance came and Šeško clears it, you can tell even from the TV. It was in.
Was obvious.
I was just annoying the delay even. Yeah. But you know what? That's what I mean. Like, we scored the better goals in this game, and I think you're going to talk about it, right? Let's talk about that third goal, Steve.
But it's the emotional roller coaster of the game, isn't it? Like going 1-0 down,
classic Arsenal, Manchester United,
then 2-1 up, then you think you're throwing it away, and at 2-1, I'm starting to already think about the pelters I can start giving the Gooners after the game, and then obviously concede the goal, and then us, your mate Cunha. I think nice little move with Cobby, my man Cobby. Nice little interchange in the middle of the park. Cobby with a little pop off to Cunha, and then he's middle of the goal, 25 yards out. Great finish, but I did have a question mark about the keeper. But what a moment!
I thought you were going to say you had a question mark about the celebration. I thought it was excellent.
No, he can celebrate like that.
Can you dance like that?
He can do what he wants.
That was brilliant.
Oh, it's genius.
Jesse Lingard vibes.
And this is the thing. He's been having. This is what he's supposed to bring, right? That shooting ability hasn't yet come. And I've always said, look, the underlying numbers are there. It's going to turn. And we're seeing it. Like he came on against City, really helped close that game out as well.
And fair play, because he would have been disappointed to not start.
Assist for the second goal.
Yeah,
for
Dorgu.
Yeah. And came on here, and then he's put the winner away. So confident on the dribble. Such a great player to have actually at the finish. I think was it? Did we win at Anfield?
Yes, this season. Yeah, Maguire.
Do you remember, like, in the last moments of that game as well?
We were talking
they couldn't get the ball off him.
The battling and
he's just he's like
the dribbling.
He's just tenacious with his dribbling. So good. I thought Cobby in both games, because I like you said, I didn't get to talk to you about the City games. Also excellent in the City game.
Yeah.
Also excellent in this game. I think Casemiro as well has rolled back the years. And
I'd give him a new contract if he would be willing to accept. If he was willing to accept lower wages or a pay-as-you-play deal, squad player for next season, and his character, don't underestimate this stuff.
Yeah, good enough for a squad player for sure. He's been excellent. So I think both of those played really well, and Cobby's just a delight to watch. He's just got this
He's a baller.
swagger about him.
Yeah.
Not Paul Pogba level yet, but you know, still just got a lovely. You know who he reminds me of is your mate Modric a bit.
Modric, yeah.
A little bit of that kind of glides around the pitch and just little hip movements, little turns.
Just comfortable on the ball in the most pressurized area of the pitch.
This will really annoy opposition fans. For me, he's like a hybrid of like a Modric and Clarence Seedorf. The way he can travel with the ball as well in like tight areas.
Yeah.
In terms of ability, I'm not saying he's obviously that.
Covered the most ground in both games.
City,
Kobbie Mainoo, both games at the Emirates as well.
Did he cover?
He covered the most ground, you know.
So this myth that Ruben projected in his head, at least, he can do it. He just needs the right setup, and that's why system is important. As it was.
This podcast is sponsored by Go Play Sports, the brand new mobile app changing the game for grassroots. Whether it's Sunday League or five-a-side, Go Play Sports makes it easy to track attendance, manage teams and cut out the manual admin. No more endless group chats, no more chasing payments, just turn up and play. Go Play Sports. Download now from your app store.
So us having picked Arsenal, any danger they're going to choke this title?
I don't think so.
You think they'll deliver it?
I was fairly convinced 2 weeks ago.
The pre-Liverpool game, was that? Or
not that. It's just City have made a couple of moves in the transfer market. And that's the thing they can do. They've gone and got Semenyo and Guehi. And I'm like, wait a minute. That's cheating. That's not fair. Wait a minute. When I judged, I didn't judge you based on you signing like 100 million extra player.
In January.
January? Where's that come from?
14 players in a year?
Yeah. However, I still believe that City aren't good enough and are too Haaland dependent. So I don't think I don't think Arsenal are good enough, but I don't see the alternative. Aston Villa, in my opinion, have been getting lucky and keep getting lucky. I don't know how they're third.
There is one.
Michael
team.
Carrick.
I mean, tell you what, I would love it if we beat them. Love it.
All right, Kevin.
They've still got to go to Anfield.
And Man City. And
get a result. And what he said, what Arteta said about our fans, you know, when he said
I kept really quiet.
I kept quiet all this time about Arteta and his tight trousers.
Bruno. And his loyalty.
And that song they play before the game. What is that cheesy crap at the Emirates that I have to listen to?
North London
Get quiet about it, the whole
London.
pod. But I'll tell you something. I'd love it if we beat them.
Can you imagine, though? Can you imagine? I agree with you, as I think they'll get over the line. They've got enough and the competition isn't good, but...
One thing that's interesting,
January.
one thing I've been thinking about is they did a good summer in terms of bulking up the squad, and I thought that was a weakness. But I do feel, as much as you rate Gyökeres, I do feel if they had managed to get one gun player, one player,
like who?
And that is the big
Harry
question,
Kane.
right? That is the question, because City do have it in Haaland. I think they're too Haaland dependent. I think Liverpool last season had it in Salah.
Yeah.
That one player that could just turn a draw into a win.
But then wasn't Saka that player, like, last season, for example?
I don't think Saka's ever
had
been
the
that player.
ability to step up, like from
I think
what he's
2
showing.
years ago he was showing signs of being a gun player, but like I was talking earlier about the hamstring, and I think he's just taking time to recover. I also think the team, the way they play is not set up like 2-3 years ago. Do you remember when they were playing like really exhilarating football? Odegaard was scoring goals. That hasn't happened for like 2 years. And they've just become a bit sideways and conservative.
Because
with their passing.
the big criticism against Arsenal over the last few years is they don't have a proper number 9, and they went and signed the proper number 9. He hasn't delivered, obviously, like as much as they'd like, but
there is one gun player.
I've never had an issue with them not having the number. I've never thought that. I just feel they needed a gun player. I'll give you a random name as an example, right? That I said that they should have signed this guy.
Ollie Watkins.
Ollie Watkins maybe, but I said this last January. I said they should have got Rashford on the left. right? Just someone who's going to take a guy on, beat a man, bang. And I just like
direct.
Who's that player that's just gonna like Gyökeres is just for me.
Is Eze not that type of player?
Well,
he's silky. He's brilliant.
But he's been on the bench for weeks because Odegaard's come back, and this is the issue. Odegaard's captain, so it's a big deal to like drop him.
Like I would play Eze anyway. I know Trossard's had a good season, but I think Mikel Arteta is a bit too conservative. And if they just if they had one gun player that could just be like, yeah, I get all the conservative stuff, but I'm just going to beat two players. That's why I said to you guys when we signed Cunha, I just want to watch him play. He does crazy shit, and it's fun. And then the celebration. And that's what I love, right? To me, that's what, when we talked about what's Man United DNA, and I'm like, there's nothing tactical. Gary Neville, this is, I'm used to seeing the 4-4-2 and the, this and the compact. And I'm like, mate, that's just because you played under Fergie.
When did he have a blocked nose?
I don't know. It's massive, though. My nose is huge. But do you know what I mean? It's like, okay, you've got this Fergie thing in your head, and that's to you, right? The Busby team didn't play anything like that. What is Man United DNA to me is drive and charisma, and flair, and that's why I was like Cunha. He's a Man United player. Ahmad's a Man United player. Take the ball, beat a man, whack it in the net. Bruno Fernandes, absolutely love it. I'll keep defending the guy. I just love watching. I want to see flair. Why defend Paul Pogba? Brilliant.
Yeah,
flair, genius.
Final thing, just to wrap up, we talked about DNA a couple of weeks ago, and as you described what the DNA is, but a lot of people, I think it was probably Gary Neville that said it, like United fans know when they see what a proper United team should be, and Ash, I think a lot of people have said these last two games, they've seen it, like that is what United should be, like, agreed?
Yeah, totally. Like we talked about it last week. As good as the football was, it was exhilarating, fast, attacking, front foot. They all worked their asses off, and that's United to a core, right? That's to use a gym line. That's the city of Manchester, right? They're hardworking people, and that's reflected, right? I think Az told the story about Busby a couple of weeks ago, when the workers, when they come to the games on a Saturday, they want to be entertained. And one interesting line that I did read, because obviously Sir Matt Busby's passing anniversary was last week, was that never settle for anything than first. So it is in the DNA of the club, because Busby created that club with what he did. So that's, as far as I'm concerned, like as simple as it gets. And yeah, Michael Carrick is doing that right now, and long may it continue.
As you getting the contract out for Michael Carrick?
I've always said Carrick. I've always said Carrick. My only issue with Carrick is I always feel that I would prefer someone on top of Carrick to kind of be the figurehead, the Carlo, the calm statesman, the Southgate, and I would prefer him. Now the question is, I just sit down with him in a room and be like, right, what do you want to do?
Yeah.
If he wants to be the number one and you do it the other way round, you put the experienced coaching staff in the background with the Steve Holland.
Which he's done, right? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. He's done that with Steve Holland, and maybe he can bring in the way that Ollie did with Mickey Phelan, someone experienced as well.
I think he's got that in Steve Holland. Steve Holland's worked with some of the best coaches in the world at Chelsea.
No, but let's just say, bulk it out, right? He's probably just put this team together.
But I think Jonathan Woodgate is like big for him. He was there the whole time at Middlesbrough. Look, I'm not going to claim I'm a Middlesbrough expert like most other United fans are now, but like he is big. And also, one of the nice things about Woodgate for me, in terms of like thinking about improving the defence, and I talked about it on previous pods about like body shape and stuff like that, Woodgate is going to be able to give that individual coaching along with whatever else he's bringing to the table. But yeah, fair enough. Like if you want someone else to just bolster it, why not?
I do think Carrick wants the number one role. As like, given he was assistant he was assistant under Ollie for 2 or 3 years, he's going to want the number one position. So I think you can assume that safely.
Yeah, but I've always been pro that type of choice. I'm never for me, you offer me Michael Carrick or these list of mid-table managers, right? I'll take Carrick all day over Silva, Glasner, Iraola. The list goes on of Thomas Frank, of all this mid-table, Emery, right? Because to me, all of these people...
Nagelsmann?
Nagelsmann's another good young coach, but Carrick's a good young coach.
No, that's what I'm saying, because you're a fan of Nagelsmann. I'm not. So for me, I mean,
I'd go Carrick over Nagelsmann.
Yeah, I've always liked Carrick anyway. Do you remember? I think we all agreed with the other spell that he had, the little spell. It's like, it's a shame that he can't carry on because I think Ralph Rangnick came, right?
But fair play to him. He made the decision to get out of the club. That
was the right
call.
decision because he got 2.5 years or whatever, 3 seasons at Middlesbrough, and the question for me is like there's a few like viewpoints, right? For me, I don't know what you guys think. So when you think about the manager that you want to pick, right? You can think about like the top ones that you've already mentioned, the Carlos, the Tuchels, Luis Enrique. I think I've mentioned him as well. But then you got to match it, I think, with the squad. Now, me personally, I think Az disagreed with this a couple of weeks ago, but like with the current squad the way it was, I didn't think this is a squad for Carlo Ancelotti. But now that I've seen this, right, and let's see how it finishes in terms of like, look, whatever it happens, right? Let's say we get champs or like we get enough wins. As a team of Carlo and Michael Carrick, and then Carlo to, pass the baton on to Michael Carrick in 2 to 3 years.
In 2 years, yeah.
That for me is the 5-year plan.
I don't think that works.
Why I don't want... I mean, I think it does work, but it's only if Carrick would want that. Right?
I don't
exactly.
Think he's, I think he's more tenacious and steely than he gets credit for, behind the scenes.
He is, but there's only so many jobs he wants as well. Like, I think, who was saying it recently? Someone from United. Oh, Wazza. Wazza was talking about it. There's only certain jobs he wants. He doesn't want to be like, take the next job at like Luton. I don't know. Maybe he'd be up for the Spurs job as an example, but there's only certain jobs. He's a reluctant manager, they call him. That's another term that I've
Michael
heard
Carrick, this is.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a term that's been floated around in the last couple of weeks.
And this is why he might be up for a number 2 gig
for now.
Yeah,
learn the ropes off an absolute world-class winning manager.
Yeah,
and then, like I said, Carlo's 66. I think he's going to go 67 soon.
Yeah,
I've been reading the books.
That was the plan under Van Gaal, right? Van Gaal gigs. You get Van Gaal in, and then you get gigs in. I still disagree on this Carlo thing in terms of I think people look at him and go, oh, he's this Galactico whisperer. Yes, he's through his career just been a flexible manager, someone who works well with the president, right? And that's what we need. We need some calm. Handles himself really well, and I don't think there's any. Like, for me, he's tactically very flexible. He doesn't have any set, like with Pep Guardiola, he's got this very defined way of playing. And you're like, oh, if you put Pep Guardiola with this squad, it'd be a big mess.
Yeah, and that's kind of my worry with Carlo's
Enrique. Favourite system is just a 4-4-2, basic, like what we've seen, and then respond to the opposition, have some good tactical ideas for specific. Okay, Saka's playing on the right. Let's double up with Dorgu and Shaw, right? That kind of thinking, rather than we've got to have the players in these very specific positions that Pep does. So I think Carlo, with the backroom staff that we have, would be great. If Carrick wants it, I would 100% go with Carrick over all of this list of very average mid-table managers, because they have shown to be good at mid-table jobs in reactive football, but have never proved themselves to play expressive football. Everything I've heard of Carrick at Middlesbrough was that he also tried to play front foot football, and that's what we need.
So which top managers would make you think, I'm going to have to think about this?
No one. Because
just Carlo?
Yeah, because you went through. Do you remember when you went through your list? And I'm like, okay, I like that list, Steve. However, Thomas Tuchel is going to clash. The whole thing we need is the recruitment side of things, alignment, and when this new recruitment team come and go, right, this is the guy we're getting, the manager doesn't turn around and go, no, I don't want him, I want this other guy, and then speaks in the press about how, oh, they didn't sign me this guy, or they didn't, and moan.
No, I do agree. Tuchel would blow up at United in this structure, for sure.
Exactly.
Does it matter what he does then in the next, 15 games left?
I think it does. Surely he's only getting the job if he delivers top 5 Champions League, I'd say. He's only in the run-in for the job, I'd say. And even then he might not get it, but to have a chance, I think he's got to deliver Champions League football, which looks doable.
I don't really watch a lot of analysis on TV because I think it's rubbish. But what I was watching Roy Keane, who was saying even if he wins the next 15 games, he doesn't get the job. It's like, what is wrong with you?
Because he doesn't like his wife, though.
Yeah.
What has Keane got against Carrick? Is it because he took his 16 shirt or something?
I was gonna bring this point up about what Keane said. So I think there is history with Keane and Carrick. I think it was. Do you remember when we lost 2-0 to Olympiacos under David Moyes in the Champions League? And we ended up winning the second leg 3-2 at Old Trafford, but in the first leg we lost.
Van Persie hat trick. Yeah.
Yeah, we lost 2-0 away, and Keane was working for ITV. Carrick did the post-match interview, like, representing the players, and basically, did a little 2-minute, very, like understated interview. And then when it came back to ITV, Keane basically made a comment and said something like, oh, Carrick's interview was like the team's performance. And then Carrick's wife, I think on Twitter, called him either the C word or another word, and deleted it, basically. So I think that's why Keane made the comment a few weeks ago on the overlap about...
He clearly didn't forget it. When was
he's
that
held the
game?
grudge.
Like 2014 or something
2014,
ridiculous?
yeah. Over 12 years ago, probably. So he's held on to that. So, yeah.
Is that what he said there yesterday? Like, no chance?
Yeah, he said even if Carrick wins every game...
every game till the end of the season, they shouldn't give him the job. I'm like, are you kidding me? If he wins every game till the end of the season,
could win the title.
I think he could. I think that's the league. So you're telling me if Michael Carrick wins the Premier League,
have you checked it?
No, but aren't we like about 12 behind Arsenal? That means that
83 is the max we can get.
Yeah, but we're 12 behind Arsenal, right? That means
doable.
It'll run them close, right?
Yeah.
It would run them close.
He'd probably get second.
Absolutely mental. If you wouldn't give him the job.
Yeah, but this is where Neville, Keane, they think they control the narrative of United fans, because Neville made a comment as well post-match, and again talking about whether Carrick gets it, and he said prior to the Man City game, he did say every United fan, he said every football fan was thinking Carrick just gets this to the end of the season and then moves on, but that's not true, because there would have been United fans.
Said that.
And there would have been other United fans out there that would have, considered giving it Carrick long term if it went well, or vice versa, and never thought Carrick should get the job. So this is where, like, Neville and Keane, I feel like they think they control the narrative sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's one of these old age things, especially over the last, 12, 13 years, especially Gary. Because, Neville has a tendency to be like, I'm not going to get all emotional. And then goes on a 10-minute rant about the whole club. He famously talked about how he never spoke up against the Glazers as a player, and even as his first couple of years as a pundit. And then he, like the rest of us, but way before, including the 1958 lot, shout out to them, to be like, no, we want the Glazers out when we were saying it, right? Not when Neville piped up about, kicking the Glazers out a few years ago.
Yeah, and the other thing Keane really went hard at was Johnny Evans. I don't know if you saw that, where he was really questioning why.
Yeah, wasn't that on the overlap?
Is this the Ian Wright thing?
Yeah, it was on the overlap.
I think it was just like, how did he get the job? He was the loans coach, and now it's
that was
just
he had an
jobs
argument
with the boys and all of this stuff. And I tell you,
he's got a grudge, isn't he?
Our pundits are a real problem. Because I heard about Scholes and Butt as well. I need to watch this. That they were laying into that? Martinez and
Scholes.
Yeah. When I talk, I don't listen to much analysis. Like, honestly, Paul Scholes talks like he never watches football. He's just a bizarre. I don't know how he gets. How does he get so many gigs on punditry?
I think it's the name of United.
He likes football.
It's the name of United. They're
no,
all
but
living
Scholes
off the
is
name.
on what's it, that TNT a lot, right?
He's not anymore, but he was.
Yeah.
He was though. Yeah,
it's the pod. Yeah, but the problem is, like, me personally, I don't take as much offense as a lot of the rest of the fan base. Maybe because I just kind of ignore them anyway. But in terms of the squad, there is a problem because the squad have talked about it to say it is a hindrance, and therefore there's a fine line between saying someone is not performing or like defending well or, you know, should have taken that chance, and then what Nicky Butt said about Martinez getting chucked around like a ragdoll by Haaland without checking his record, because Martinez even had a good record against Haaland when he was at Ajax, and then he has the game of his life against him last Saturday, and then he calls it on, which fair play to Martinez for doing, and then, you know, Butt and Scholes doubled down. In fairness to Scholes, it did seem like, actually, we did fuck up. Whereas
he said we could have worded it better, didn't he? Which is
that's acknowledgement. Whereas Nicky Butt was like, "We're having a laugh." No, you wasn't. You were being truthful. That's what you thought.
Yeah, and also the key with this is, and they both made the point, I think they made the point that, you know, back in the day we would get criticism and, you know, we had to deal with it.
Different landscape.
Big difference was, number one, Fergie in terms of the protection, two, you know, the world-class squad that they were both part of. I mean, you guys correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think Nicky Butt was anything that special, you know, as a player. But most importantly, now you don't just have match of the day once a week and daily papers. You have us. You have podcasts, you have social media, so the noise is constant, and what they say gets picked up.
I love the way you said that. You have us, as if
Fernandez is special entity
in the dressing room.
We're in our podcast.
We're fighting back.
We're a political news channel.
Trying to fight back.
Diego Dallo's like got a picture of us on his wall with a dartboard.
But Steve's head is bullseye.
Constant noise though, right? That is the difference. These
24/7, baby.
These things, like, you know, didn't have these 20 years ago, and players checking
Chris
it.
Williamson on us.
No, it's true though, right?
Of course it is.
That's the big difference that they don't appreciate. So yeah, I mean, they say what they want, don't they? And they get the gigs, they get paid, so they're happy. But yeah, I think it's toxic.
It's a societal problem as well.
I don't mind people saying what they want. What I don't understand is why would people listen to this? It's like, like I said, why is Scholes? How did Scholes keep getting these gigs when he just had nothing interesting to say?
Yeah, it's the power of the United fan base, though. They get 100,000+ views a week because United fans will tune into it because.
He's miserable as well most of the time. At least Neville, you know, gets it wrong a lot of the time, but he's passionate at least.
Mm-hmm. And articulate.
Yeah, and keen as well. Like, is there some
funny.
level of entertainment?
Yeah.
You disagree with him, but there's some entertainment there. Scholes is just a bit dour.
As I'm interested to hear from you here, because obviously you missed the pod last week. So the protest, you know, I think majority is against the Glazers. We still want the Glazers out the club. However, Steve from the 1958 did say they now put Ratcliffe in the same category, having seen what's happened over the last 2 years. I know you see more positives from Ineos than others, but generally speaking, do you support the fact that United fans should protest against this joint ownership of the Glazers and Ineos?
Yeah, because the Glazers are still majority shareholders, right? There should be nowhere near this club. You know, for me, there's no perfect ownership model, right? Even our fan base is a bit crazy. So if we put us in charge, what would happen? We'd have you signing Gyökeres for 100 million. Exactly.
Harry Kane.
Brian Mbeumo on the right.
You know, we'd have Ash getting freaking Iraola as manager. All things would happen.
Eddie Howe.
Right? Yeah, all things would happen. So, but one thing I'm certain of is a football club should not be treated like a corporate entity where money is extracted from it and from its fans, right? As much as, you know, we rile against or we see the way Barcelona's been a mess and Real Madrid has had its own dramas at times, but Bayern Munich has some kind of often drama in the boardroom or whatever. But that the majority fan, right, either club owned, membership owned, and that's the model we should have. The difference between I see Jim Ratcliffe and the Glazers is I don't think Jim Ratcliffe wants to own Man United to make money. He's made his money and he wants his legacy. He's investing in, like, he threw 200 million at Ben Ainsley on a boat race. Why? Because he just thinks it's fun, right? It's not that he wants to make money from it.
But then he falls out with all these people.
No, you might fall out with him. What I'm saying is, like, it's his hobby. He threw money on this Ineos Grenadiers thing because he's like, oh yeah, I like the old Land Rover. We should, Pride of Britain. We should bring that back. It's just a hobby for him, right? While the Glazers bought the club to basically make profit from it, take as much money from the supporters as possible, should never have been allowed.
Well, that's the key, isn't it? The debt is still there.
And the debt is still there.
Yeah.
It's wrong what happened then. It's wrong that I don't see football clubs should be allowed to have dividends taken out of them. There should not be entities for profit. It's wrong.
When's that freeze stopping? Because Jim, like with this investment deal, had the dividends frozen. Isn't that coming up soon?
Yeah, I think there was a timeline on that.
I think it was 2 years, right? Or in and around that mark.
Yeah. You're talking free. Is that the drag-along rights? What do you mean? That's separate, isn't
it? There was a thing where part of the deal was no dividends come out of the club.
Yeah.
And it picked up a massive financial mess. So 100% keep protesting against the current ownership. The Glazers are still in. They need to be moved out. Whether that's Ratcliffe has the ability to do that, maybe he doesn't with his financial position, so we might need other backers. The club needs the Glazers out 100%. Keep the protest going. I fully support
that. Go to the protest on Sunday.
Yeah, I fully support the current ownership of Manchester United is not acceptable. We want a debt-free club, ideally. Really, the Glazers should have to give all that money back. Honestly, that's if I was in charge, this would never have been allowed. I'd stick them in prison and get them to give all the money back because
management, especially Darcy.
Yeah, 100%. It's absolutely, it's shocking. But this is the issue. You talk about Andy Burnham trying to get in and failing. We've had a choice in this country for the last 30 years between far right and this right, and we've never had people care about our society. It's always been a quite highly capitalist neoliberal economics belief in extractive rent from water, from energy, from all the basics, and football is another one that should not be an extractive thing. You shouldn't be. These are things. All of these things are things that we as a society have built over years, right? Together, collectively, and that someone shouldn't come along and take profit from it. Manchester United was built by the supporters, and we shouldn't be exploited. And we have been continued to be exploited when they've put the ticket prices up. It's because in my opinion, is to try and make the club get in a financial footing, but it's because of the historical exploitation of the Glazers.
Yeah, okay, so we're all agreed on, protesting is right, especially against the Glazer ownership. So Ash, final word with you, message to the United fans ahead of Fulham on Sunday.
Message to the fans, what can I say? Manchester City, Arsenal, great days. But the club is going to be here for years. And if you want to protect the club, go to the protest on Sunday, make your voice heard, do what you can, show up with your flags, and just make a hell of a lot of noise. And let's get these owners out as soon as possible.
And then let's hope Michael Carrick delivers a scintillating performance on the pitch, because we can want both things at the same time, right? We can want the team to succeed and want these owners out. So
I don't want to hear about Ash talking about a Marco Silva masterclass on the next pod, because I can't deal with it.
Oh, that's a good point.
Why am I going to talk about that? I'm the Michael Carrick train, mate.
It's win-win for Ash on next week's pod.
Yeah, exactly.
Can't wait.
So we'll wrap it up there for this week. Thanks for joining us, and we'll catch you on the next one.